The year was 1916. Rain poured endlessly over the trenches of the Western Front. Mud soaked through boots, and the air smelled of metal, fear, and something far worse, silence after a scream. Private Thomas Wilkins sat hunched under a splintered plank, his trembling fingers clutching a damp letter. He was only 22. His hands were stained with dirt and dried blood, but the ink flowed steady.
My dear Margaret, if you're reading this, I've gone where many of my friends have already gone. Don't cry, my love. We were just boys thrown into a storm made by old men.
That letter never reached her in time. It arrived 2 months after he'd been buried by a mortar blast near the Somme. When the postman brought it, Margaret collapsed on the doorstep, clutching the envelope to her chest. Her mother rushed out. Her father sat on the porch, hands clenched. No one spoke. Only her little brother whispered.
Is Tommy coming back?
She read the letter every night until her last breath at the age of 94. It was found under her pillow. But that's just one story. In a small village in Punjab, India, a young sepoy named Amarjit Singh had also been drafted into the war. His family had no idea where he was, only that he fought for the British crown. His letter arrived during a monsoon storm in 1917.
Respected Bapuji, I have seen things no son should see. A boy cried for his mother in French, and I could only hold his hand as he died. My turban is soaked with tears, not rain. But know this, I have not brought shame to our home.
One name, one story, one legacy that shaped the world. Welcome to Timeless Voices, where legendary lives come to life.
Amarjit never returned. His body was never found. His father lit a candle every night at the village Gurdwara, saying, "May he rest where even God cannot forget him." One family in France received not one, but 4 letters. Their 4 sons had all been conscripted. The first letter came from Lucien, the oldest, a poet turned soldier.
Maman, today I saw birds flying above no man's land. I envied them. No walls, no borders, just sky.
The second came a week later.
Maman, Lucien is gone. I held him as he passed. He smiled. He said, "Tell her I was dreaming of her bread. I'm scared."
From Claude III, and 4th letters were returned unopened. Their sons were already dead. Their mother, Madame Duval, never spoke again. She spent the rest of her life tending a small garden where she planted 4 white roses. She whispered to them every morning, as if her boys could still hear her. Then there was Harold Bennett, an American boy who lied about his age to enlist. He was only 16. He wrote a letter he never sent. It was found in his coat after he died.
To anyone who finds this, I didn't get to kiss a girl. I didn't finish school. I didn't know what a hangover feels like. But I knew what it felt like to be terrified, to be brave, to love my brothers in the trench. If you're reading this, please tell my mother I was thinking of her when I fell.
That letter was delivered by a fellow soldier, Daniel, who'd promised to bring it home. When he knocked on the Bennett's door, Harold's mother didn't scream. She just opened her arms and held the letter against her chest like it was her son's heart still beating. And sometimes, it was the silence that spoke loudest. A letter arrived in Dublin in 1918. It was addressed to a woman named Eileen from her fiancé, Captain Seamus Doyle. When the ring arrived, his letter was tucked inside a small envelope, burnt at the edges as if fate had tried to erase it. Eileen wore that ring for 70 years. She never married. Not all letters were elegant. Not all were long, but all were sacred. One letter was tied to a carrier pigeon, short, desperate.
Eileen, I've bought you a little ring from a man in Belgium. It's small, but it's all I could carry into hell. Trapped, shells falling, only 5 of us left. We're at Sector 4B, please. Don't forget us.
That pigeon flew through gunfire, dying mid-air, but crash landing near the base. The letter was saved. So were the soldiers. The message? Scrawled in a child's handwriting. One of the men couldn't write properly, so he copied another's words like a schoolboy trying to get it right. These weren't just letters, they were echoes of young souls. And what of the families left behind? Some refused to believe the letters. Mothers sat waiting at train stations long after the war ended. Some kept bedrooms untouched for sons who would never walk through the door again. Sisters would read letters aloud at night, pretending their brothers were still listening. And in one heartbreaking tale, an English girl named Lily collected fallen letters left on trains, in mud, or burned halfway. She pasted them into a journal, no names, just words. She titled the book, Things the World Should Never Forget. Because in the end, these letters didn't just belong to families. They belonged to all of us. They are reminders that war doesn't end when the guns fall silent. It echoes in the emptiness of dinner tables, in unopened letters, in lives unlived. And to the world that still wages war today, remember, no battlefield ever wrote a love letter, no bullet ever said goodbye, and no soldier ever died without dreaming of home.